Greetings, Jamaica. So today, NEPA released a press release stating that the 2026 bird shooting season approval has been approved provisionally by the NRCA. And what the press release said that the National Environmental Planning Agency wishes to advise that a decision was taken by the NRCA to grant approval in the principle for a restricted bird shooting season. What that means, things are going to be the same. And at that meeting for April 21, 2026, the NRCA agreed that preliminary decision was necessary to balance the industrial readiness with the significant ecological impact of Hurricane Melissa, which struck the island in October 2025. And as a result of this, bird shooting season will likely include geographical limitation and reduced number of shoots. What that means, some of the areas, there might be some areas that you can't shoot, which is a decision of the authority, and there might be reduced in the number of shoot. You normally have, it's normally over 6 weeks, so there might be change. And this advice is being issued solely to support early planning, because if you need to have a season, a lot of work needs to be done within the sector, including the procurement of supplies. Further details and final agreement for the season will be released in due course. The NRC remains fully sensitive to the communities and habitats affected by the hurricane and will continue to prioritize environmental protection in all decisions. So after this came out today, a number of people asked out and say, Rusa, what do you feel about it? Now I'm putting on my conservation biology hat. And when you put on the conservation biology hat, you have to look at the information, the facts that are around, and put the facts out. So bird shooting in Jamaica, I know what people ask how I feel about it. So you have different groups in Jamaica. You have one of the environmental sector that pushes that in general you don't want a bird shooting season. And after a strong category 5 hurricane that have hit the island, where in some parishes, the vegetation was damaged, there was a loss of food supply, even now some places now have electricity. And because of that, some people were saying no season. On the other side of the bird shoot, the part, you have to think about the hunters. Now, the hunters now, yes, play a part in conservation because they have some of the areas, like some of the reserve that they keep as reserve in protecting the plants, planting certain trees, so that they can get the bird to hunt. Because if you don't protect the habitat, then you're not going to have no bird. So they play that part in it. And if there's going to be a season, then there have to be preparation for the season. I mean, procuring the bullets that you're going to need out there, the pellets, preparing some of these hunting lodge, get vehicles. So there's a lot of decision in terms of procurement needed for that season in August. So a decision needs to be made. One, now the National Environmental Planning Agency have been doing work for the year before the season come. They do their surveys and all of that. So for the government to make a decision whether to do or whether not to do a season, they would have to do surveys. So their surveys might tell them that you can do it, because just remember that yes, the habitat have been affected. We don't know how bad, but some of the trees come back and you can't have the birds reproducing, or it might never kill, injure a number of the bird. I don't know, but the surveys that you do will normally tell you, and based on the surveys, you can guide and tell people whether they can have a bird shooting season or they should not. So when a number of people ask me what I think about it, personally, if I could choose, I'm putting on my BirdLife Jamaica hat, I would say, boy, I don't have a season. On the other hand, I have to think about, you have what your heart tell you, but you have to work with data. So if the data shows say you can't have a season, then I don't have a problem. So I know in time, information getting put out where people can see how, and one thing I hope we get to do is to just explain to the people how the system works, because there's a lot of scientists, both in NEPA, both at the university and all of that do work. And you have scientists in BirdLife Jamaica. Yes, You have people in Brother Jamaica who don't want no season. You might have some who understand that they are a season. So there's a lot of work. And also, you have to think in the season, the hunters go in the communities too. And some of these communities, they put in a lot in it. But one thing I want everybody to remember, even though there are economic values in terms of the season, the ultimate role is to make sure that the season don't threaten the survival of our birds. So as long as the surveys do it and show say in that game have a big impact or threaten the success of the season, then I would not go against I said don't have a season. So I am one that push as a conservation biologist that you have the data to suggest whether you hunt whether you have a season or you don't have a season. So we need the data. So as long as that me and data. So I know you have heard one side then they saying, hey, we should not have, and another side, you have to put all of this information and make that tough decision. However, one thing that I'm happy to see in that press release is saying that things not going to be as normal. So because of the hurricane and maybe the surveys, this press release has already shown say there are going to be changes. So we don't know, but whether there are changes or not, we're gonna need, if the season occur, we're gonna need some of the hunters to have a heart to follow the rules, and also we're gonna need the community to help the entities, like wherever you're allowed to shoot and some areas that you're not allowed to shoot, the community can play a role in telling NEPA or tell the police what go on in terms of that. But it is a good discussion to be having. Nothing wrong with somebody saying that they want to have a season. If you're a hunter, you shouldn't feel bad say you want to have a season. If you're a bird advocate that go against the season, there's nothing wrong in talking about it. What we need to do now is have dialogue and see how we can move forward. So from a conservation biology hand, as I said, if the surveys are done properly and the trends and everything is showing that they can have a season, I'm happy to see though, well, whether I have a season or not, I'm happy to see that things are not happening the same like last year, because it was a strong category 5 hurricane, so the things could be the same this year. So so I look at it from that standpoint. And some hunters might decide, maybe them hear and feel say, but they have the choice to say, boy, I'm not go hunt either. But as I'm saying, keep on sending your question to Roosters World JA on X, TikTok, Facebook, the one I leave off, on YouTube, or even my WhatsApp channel. Nothing wrong in having this discussion. We're going to have people who have strong energy on both sides. And at this time, as I would say, we can have conversation. And I also know that some people are going to vex, boy, you can't understand so Roosters World is supposed to be a conservationist or environmentalist, and he is supporting or not supporting. The truth is, I have to, as a conservation biologist, I have to put a balance and show in both ways of how this thing can work. And all of it, you have to put in all stakeholders together. But the ultimate one is the birds, as I always state before. So as long as the season, whether you like, some people are going to say, boy, don't shoot bird, and that's your view. Some of the other people do it. As long as what is being done is not putting the population at risk, I do not have a problem. But as I said before, data is the most important tool in making this conservation decision. And I hope the authorities will find ways of explaining certain decisions to the people, because already questions are coming in. I see WhatsApp say, how can this happen, and stuff like that. And there needs to be a way where people can express their view, communicate, and get their answers about it. So I just put it on the authority. Please find a way to communicate with the people, to explain the decision, explain the process, so it's very clear. I am a part of the bird fraternity, And I think there also going to be discussion in the bird fraternity, whether you support it or don't support it. But all I would tell you to do, check out the press release, share your views, send your question, and let's have a discussion about it. So again, yeah. So check out Roosters World on X, Blue Skies, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. And yeah, you can you can like the video, or you can also send your questions and I will try my best to answer it. What I will also do, even though sometimes I'm busy, I'm going to find a set time where we might have a live and some of the people can send some questions directly because the question coming up and I hope this video answers some of the questions. So listen out. And yeah, there's a lot more people that get in talk about. Check out Bird Life Jamaica. I know so the Hunting Fraternity again says stuff. NEPA. Check all about. Ask a question, nothing wrong with it. So I hope that this video answers most of the questions where a lot of people send to Roosters World JA asking about the government, or I should say NEPA, put out a press release about the 2026 bird shooting season approved provisionally by the NRCA. So it has to go through other steps before the season can happen. But this already I try to tell you that there are going to be changes this year in the season. Peace.